Arsenal 3, Sunderland nil. And it's another big step towards that elusive title, that potential title. Hopefully we can get it, but today we took a massive step. Listen, it was a cagey game in that first half, and in the first part of that second half as well. But once we went 2-0 up, it was pretty much game over after that point. Um, I want to credit the defensive performance because although we looked a little shaky from set pieces in that first half, the second half we absolutely locked it down, and Sunderland never really had a clear-sighted goal. I mean, obviously Brabi had that chance where Raya completely fumbled it off the free kick, but it was blocked by Havertz, and when you look at the replay, it looked like it was going wide. So, I don't think, even if you would have gotten a clean, like even if that wasn't blocked, it wasn't going in. But still, that was a shaky moment from Raya. And then there was another one where a ball was put in. There was a header from Zubamendi back towards the center, and then Raya ended up catching it on like the third or fourth attempt. But I thought all in all, it was a pretty comfortable performance. Martin Zubamendi, this guy has been probably our best signing this season, and he scored a goal in that first half that was Rodri-esque in terms of a defensive midfielder, picking up the ball when things aren't necessarily going your way, being able to find a goal out of nowhere, really. And that was a tremendous strike from Martin Zubamendi to give us a 1-0 lead. Before that, it was, we didn't really have a clear-sighted goal. Declan Rice had a shot from outside the box that went just wide. And then after that goal, Kai Havertz had a shot that also went just wide. I thought that was the best bit of play from Kai Havertz, in that game today. I thought that one moment that Kai Havertz produced was spectacular, really. I thought it was really good. But we go into halftime 1-0 up, and then we go into the second half, and, again, it's a cagey start. Sunderland are revving up the pressure, unable to find anything in behind. A couple of really good fizzed balls across the box, either aerially or on the ground from Sunderland at the beginning of that second half, but nobody was able to get on the end of it. Gyökeres came on, and Gyökeres had a great performance, 2 goals. His first goal, I thought he took well. He was stumbling a little bit, before he took that strike, but he ended up taking that strike, and it was a good finish. So, Kai Havertz again involved. Played onside by the Sunderland defender who was way behind him after the previous passage of play. And, Havertz gets in behind. Havertz finds Gyökeres. Gyökeres puts it in to make it 2-0. So at that moment, you were like, or I was like, the game's pretty much over. We've done our job, but, let's close it out well. And that's exactly what we did. Again, after that moment, Sunderland really not creating any openings. I thought defensively we were good, although we did make some mistakes in possession, but out of possession, we were spectacular, really. I felt like Calafiori had a difficult game from the standpoint of, this was kind of his first game back. It was his first start in a while, and he was giving the ball away. There was one clearance in the first half where he completely sliced it. He's normally a mistake-free footballer, and today he made a few mistakes. Saliba obviously got booked early. Brabi was giving him some problems up front. No real penetration from Sunderland, but that physical battle was something to watch all game. And Saliba got booked early. There was a moment where a Sunderland player kind of went by him, won a corner. So, Saliba was looking shaky. I thought Gabriel and Timber in that back line were spectacular, though. No mistakes from them. Always solid defensively. And, again, I thought they were spectacular. So we're 2-0 up. And, Sunderland are trying to go for it, trying to find 2 goals to equalize, but they're unable to do so. And then towards the end of the game, ball gets floated in, Norgard clears it. Martinelli picks it up, runs in behind, plays in Gyökeres to make it 3. And that's game, set, match. And listen, there's a big game going on tomorrow. There's a huge game going on tomorrow. Manchester City go to Anfield and play Liverpool. I'll be rooting for Liverpool tomorrow because if Liverpool can get a victory, it would mean that Arsenal have a 9-point gap clear at the top of the Premier League with 13 games to go. That would be spectacular. That would be awesome. We're not in the home stretch yet, but we're getting close. And if Liverpool, even if they get a draw against Man City, we're 8 points clear. I mean, that's also really good. So, all in all, it was a professional performance. It wasn't swashbuckling. It wasn't spectacular, but it was a professional performance, and that's exactly what we needed. So, I don't know what our next game is. I would have to look, but I assume it's away from home. I'm not sure, but our next game we're gonna have to be on it. I know we play Tottenham soon. I don't know how soon, but I know we play Tottenham soon. Obviously, Christian Romero got a red card today against Man United, so he won't be playing in that game against Arsenal. That's good news for us. But we have Tottenham away, we have Chelsea at home, and that's it for the Big Six fixtures. So it's going to come down to how we perform against these other teams that are not in the Big Six, that don't have the resources, and how are we going to pick up 3 points? If we can win those games, then we're going to win the league because I don't see us losing to Tottenham and to Chelsea. So if we beat those teams, then we win the league. It's that simple. But today, it was a huge result in the grand scheme of things. Aston Villa dropped points, and they drew to Bournemouth away. So we were already 7 clear. Now we're 9 clear of Aston Villa. So listen, it's it's looking good at the moment. It's looking really, really, really good at the moment. But that's all I have for this match reaction. Thank you guys for tuning in. Leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.